now. Well, what if you didn't need to forge your own path? What if we could simply learn from those who went before us? Today we're going to hear from three of our industry's very best. Nicole Cannon from Pink Finance, Bridget McGregor from Vision Money, Robert Cribb from Dare to Compare. They're going to talk to us about what they wish they'd known sooner and what they'd do differently if they had their time again. With 20 years experience in the industry, Nicole Cannon is known for her infectious enthusiasm, her passion for our industry, her commitment to social issues and community engagement, as well as for her incredible business, Pink Finance, operating out of North Sydney and Oberon. Over her long career, Nicole has received many, many awards, most recently being named an MPA Elite Woman in Broking, as well as the two-time winner of the AFG Winning Women's Stage. Nicole?
There's so many things that I could go over with what I would do again, because there's lots of mistakes that I have made along the way. First thing that I would love to cover off, which is something that I discovered about 8 or 9 years ago, was the importance of your values. So what is it that personally makes you tick to get up out of bed every single morning? And it's so personal and so individual for every single one of you. And what made me realise and aware of that was that I was co-branded with another brand, and I thought that would help me gain momentum and really build my business. But what was actually happening was this company had a completely different set of values to what I had, and it just lost the momentum, and I wasn't being congruent to who I am. So my personal values are fun, love, adventure, and community. And a lot of those values were not matched with this other company that I was working with. And then I've tailored my personal values into my corporate values, which is passion, purpose, and people. So being really congruent to values helps you make decisions for your business, and you know when it's sitting right, when they're true to you. The next thing that I wish I had known before was about hiring people. The importance of people and the people in your business is just so crucial. 10 years ago, I was told, build your brand, get other brokers on board, because that's just what I should do. And that's what I did. But I wasn't decisive on what people I wanted to bring into my business, what they were going to bring to my business, and what purpose they would give to myself and my team. And it didn't work, except for my very first hire, which is Tony, who is still my processor since 2009. So I was very lucky with my very first hire. But now I'm very aware when I bring people to my team that I know exactly where they're going to come into our workflow, how they're going to make an impact on the business, and the impact and the benefit it is to everybody, including customers and myself. I became aware of that when I got so clear on my process. And that's the third thing that I would say I wish I had known and I had done. I wish I'd known I'd done that probably 18 years ago and I started broking about 20 years ago. So I have mapped out, I've got 102 steps in my business from when the lead comes in and what happens with that lead, who's involved with what. And as confronting and overwhelming as it can be, because you actually realise what blockages you are holding back within your business, it's also liberating because that helps you make a decision as to who your next hire is going to be and the benefit they're going to give to your business and your clients and your workflow. And it also helps me hire other people to help Tony, my loan processor, to take some of the roles off Tony as well, so that she could still be the very best that she could be and not bogged down, because the compliance and the process has just tripled, if not more, since 20 years ago. So people and process would be very important. Congruent with process is the systems that support that process. We were an early adopter of Broker Engine a couple of years ago, so before the AFG connection, and that really was a game changer for us because it helped us automate a lot of the process through a system. And our clients get updated all along the way through the journey. And I know when that process is working well, when we're utilising a system, because clients respond back and just say thanks for the update when an email has been sent on your behalf and you haven't even done anything. So when they're responding to that in a positive way, you know that the process and the system is working well together. Another thing I wish I had invested in a lot earlier than what I did was investing in myself. So in 2020, I invested in getting a coach for my business. And after 18 years, I was like, I knew that I had more to achieve and I could be better than what I'm doing now. So I took the plunge and invested in a business coach, and hands down, one of the best investments I have ever made. And it made me accountable to so many of the things that I wanted to do. Plenty of times we go, right, this is what I want to do, and then next month we put it off because another urgent file's come off, and then next month and next month. But when you actually invest in yourself and you have somebody that you've got to be held accountable to every 2 weeks, even if it's just a couple of little steps that you have achieved in those 2 weeks, it's another step forward. And I am so grateful for my coach to giving me that guidance. It's sometimes stuff that we already know, but it's just, again, that accountability. But they also push you outside of your comfort zone as well. And so there's a lot of new things that we're bringing to the table, which I would never have done had I not had the support and the backing from my coach. Then the final thing that I really wish I took care and knowledge of is the importance of mental health. And we all live in such an intense and stressful industry. And I'll be completely honest, March, April last year, I completely burnt out. Hayley, JK and Chris Slater know exactly all about it because I had a moment with them. And I just realised when I looked into myself that I wasn't delivering the customer service experience and I was extraordinarily stressed. And so I changed a bit of the way of my process and what I do and gave back time for me and acknowledging myself. And it's been amazing watching the business and the team shift and change in the last 12 months by focusing on my mental health, acknowledging me and giving myself time for me. So where I acknowledged what that benefit was to me, and then I passed that on to my team as well. And so everybody in the team have a half-day mental health day, and it's not a sick day, it's not a holiday, it's a day for them where they can go off and do whatever they want for them to acknowledge them and their mental health, and it's just great for a team environment. So they are the things that I wish I had done differently in my business, and I hope that has been of help. Thank you.
Bridget McGregor of Vision Money has 15 years industry experience. Having started her own business 10 years ago, Bridget quickly became a highly awarded broker in her own right, being named Advisor Young Broker of the Year and amongst the ranks of the MPA Top 100. Fast forward 10 years and Bridget has built a really strong team around her and a highly successful business. Welcome to the stage, Bridget.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to keep it really simple today and just talk to you about a few little points of things that I did, which I think, I wish I had done sooner. One of the things was to let go sooner. But you're all sitting there thinking the exact same thing. I can do it quicker, I can do it better. I'm just going to do it because it's easier. I ran that process for probably 5 years, and similar to Nicole, you get burnt out, you get tired, but you just think it's easier to do it yourself. Try and bring someone on board, whether it's that PA or offshore processor or part-time processor, to help you before you need it. There's no point in getting to the stage where you are so busy and so flat out that you can't train them at the right pace that you guys are sort of keeping up with. So that's probably the biggest thing. I wish I had brought someone on sooner to help me in the business. And if I had had the time to be able to train them sooner, I think I'd still have the first few that I hired back up in the Northern Territory. So that's my first point, is bring someone on sooner before you actually think you need them. The second one was, I feel like any successful broker, the first thing you think you need to do is build a team. Build a team of brokers, that's what you've got to do, that's what's going to get the business really pumping. But in fact, I feel like I did that, and then I went on a smaller scale. So I started bringing on some really good admin, some super supportive people around me that weren't necessarily brokers, but may have the ability or have shown that they've got the ability to come up through the ranks and become brokers. So we established a really good admin team around us, and we did that via disc profiling. So if you can look up on Google disc profiling, it talks about different personality types. And for me, so disc profiling is different personalities. So dominant, influential, conscientious, or steady. So you can imagine having two dominant people in a business, you're constantly going to butt heads. So when I understood that profiling part, I was better at hiring and also better at communicating with the customers that I had in front of me. So for me, my profile is dominant, influential. So if you talk to me and you give me lots of detail, I switch off after 30 seconds. But if you talk to me and you give me 3 or 4 points, I'm straight away engaged, I want to know more, and I'll talk to you and ask you questions. So understanding that different kind of communication method was really important in growing advocates for your business as well. So not only is it important with hiring, like hiring the right people to support you, I've got some of my team here and they're completely different to what I am. So having people that are conscious, having people that are steady in my business is really important for me. And as I said, with the clients as well, understanding how best to communicate with them. So if I've got an engineer in front of me, I know I would give him to Rick because an engineer would absolutely set me off. I would say he would be constantly asking for more detail and I'd say, no, I can't deal with this. I'll give you 3 points, that's it. So understanding profiling is really important. Surrounding yourself with people that are better than you. So within AFG, we have one of the most supportive networks that I've ever experienced, and I've been at some other aggregators in the past. I've got 2 or 3 mentors here that are they're in the top 3 in Australia. So I was fortunate enough to be able to go and spend time with those guys. There's John McNamara, SMS Finance up on the Sunshine Coast. On average, they're doing sort of 30 to 40 million a month. So go out, like challenge yourself to go out and find someone that's better than you and ask them for help, because I guarantee you the first thing they're going to say is absolutely, would love to help if they've got the time to. And that's what I did. I just went straight out. I found John McNamara. I also found Steve Carlton from RFS Finance, and I said, hi, this is who I am, can I come and spend some time with you? I went and spent a day with them in their businesses, and it was probably the best thing that I've ever done. So find someone that maybe your personality fits with, challenge yourself to go and talk to them and ask them for some help. Within our industry, I feel that's probably the best thing that you can do, take away a couple of things, go back and implement it into your business. And probably my last point is be prepared for the long game. It doesn't happen quickly. Like being a broker, I found it sort of took anywhere between 18 months to sort of 24 months to really gain traction. And that's what I talk to my guys about, is it's not going to happen in 12 months. You're not going to feel that full compounding effect of growing advocates in your business with clients until you sort of get to that stage of 18 months to 2 years. So hang in there. It's one of the most rewarding and beneficial careers that I've ever experienced. And if I can help you, let me know. I'm happy to take some people into our office up in Brisbane, and I'm sure our team would be super supportive of you guys as well. So thanks.
Much for sharing, Bridget. So next up we have Robert Cribb from Dare to Compare, who has to be one of our industry veterans, could I say, Robert, with 30 years of experience in finance and having started their very first mortgage broking business together 20 years ago. Robert and his wife, Kath, will celebrate 20 years in business in this industry early next year, I believe. So I think that deserves a round of applause in itself. What an achievement. The Dare to Compare team operate out of offices in Taree and Newcastle. Robert's also an award-winning broker in his own right, but he would hate for me to talk about that, so I'll just tell you that he's very well known for his efficiency and his unparalleled credit knowledge, which has enabled him to position Dare to Compare as the go-to business for finance in the region. Welcome to the stage, Rob.
What I wish I'd known earlier. As Helly said, mortgage broking for about 20 years, and I've tried to pitch this presentation for brokers that maybe have less than 5 years, so I'm not too sure if that's, show of hands, less than 5 in the room, so yep, cool. So, understand a client for life versus a transactional client. You've all heard the term, go and see my mechanic, my hairdresser, my broker. And to me, you want to become the my broker in your local community or local referral source. So when you start getting those people saying to you, go and see my broker, you know that you're on the right track. Become a trusted professional, just not a home loan provider. To me, that's your local home finance manager down at the bank. They're just processing home loans. You just need to be that trusted professional. Clients don't want a home loan, they want the house. In the early days, I think I was hung up on, understanding all the home loans inside and out, which yes, you've got to do, but now it's very much, when clients come into our office or whatever, they really don't give two hoots what the home loan is. They just simply want that house. They want to exchange and, or the back deck on their house. That's all they really want. And lastly, mortgage brokers, we do provide the solution to their problems, and that's what you really need to keep reminding yourselves of. 3 things I did well to grow the business. Again, this is pitched for newer businesses. When we started out, we didn't have a client or any, never even done home loans. At that point, I was in commercial in banking before that. So we got in and spoke to all the real estate agents, conveyancers, sporting groups, free print media for those in regional locations like us. That's gold, costs you nothing, and you can go and give them a story and they'll run it because it makes the job easy. Sponsor an open home section in your local paper, costs nothing half the time, and target your local sporting groups if you understand what your target market is. For us, it was those younger families at the time, so that worked well for us. What would I do differently? Diversification, a lot of people talk around diversification. Sometimes challenge that, it becomes a distraction, just me personally. So finding that right balance of what's diversification versus distraction. For me personally, I went off and did some financial planning. I become a better broker for doing my financial planning diploma, but suddenly I spent half my time doing financial planning that delivered 5% of the revenue. So I quickly flicked that off and got back to what I do best, which is the next point. Trust others more and stop being a control freak. 20 years on, I am still a control freak. The only thing I've done recently is diverted my work mobile to the office, so that's about as far as I've got. But that, for anyone that doesn't do that, that is really worthwhile doing. And having clear job descriptions if you've got multiple people in your office. So I found that's a little bit easier for me now to actually trust that people can just get on and do their job. And even the last 2 days here, just being able to just know it's all happening back in the office is really satisfying. Work-life balance, the girls talked about this a little bit earlier, and I hadn't heard what they were going to say, but all three of us saying the same thing here. For me, I wish I'd not allowed a 24/7 customer expectation that created over a period of time, and just trying to draw a line in the sand and not let clients rule your life, which is what happens. My advice for mapping out a path to success. For 20 years, day one, we've never had targets, ever. It's purely based on turning up with the right attitude and the right behaviours, and if you just do that that will deliver the right results. That's my mantra. It's just what my belief is. Don't spend too long looking in the rear vision at past results. For those that do, you need to check in, but just don't dwell on it. Make sure you review your business plan. Who's got a business plan? Anyone? Okay, so for me, it's really important to have a business plan, but a business plan to me should just be one page, otherwise you never do anything with it. And the image here, my wife always hears this every time we fly into Sydney. I look out the window and go, look how many mortgages there are down there. And if you really take that mindset when you leave here and fly back into your hometown, and that might give you inspiration to actually implement some few things when you get back to your office. Spinnaker's Up. Again, this is my little baby, Spinnaker's Up. For 20 years I've done Spinnaker's Up. So every year, an example would be now to the next 24 months, I think we'd all agree it's a golden opportunity for refinancing based around fixed rates. Recently we just did sign writing on our front office, and it's all based around refinancing. So the idea of it is when there's an opportunity comes in the market and you're going to have the wind behind your sail, then make sure you put the Spinnaker up and just go full lever and invest in, or your marketing strategy should be based around that, your effort and your time. So it's just a simple analogy, but for the sailors in the room, which I am not, when the opportunity's there, take advantage of it, put the Spinnaker up, you'll go faster, quicker. Google reviews, John Emery from AFG really helped us out with some insights 12 months ago around Google reviews. We were doing Facebook reviews. John said, Rob, that's a thing of the past, go down the Google reviews, which we did. We got over 100 5-star Google reviews in 12 months, or in 10 months, sorry. And the level of local inquiry through Google reviews has just gone crazy. So as consumers, we all Google, and for those of you who aren't doing Google reviews, you just got to go back and do that Monday. It's such a simple thing, costs nothing, and it will increase your level of inquiry. Established processes. So again, if you're going to go forward looking at refinances, have some processes in place. I'm just going to skip these next ones because I want to get to the next slide without running out of time, and you can all read those ones. CoreLogic. Does anyone use CoreLogic? Yeah, okay. So CoreLogic property alerts, which I put on the bottom there, that's just another must-have CoreLogic property alerts. Advice for single brokers in the room, network with like-minded brokers like the girls said earlier. There's plenty of people willing to help. Consider outsourcing, have a basic business plan. Focus apps, always have 1 or 2 apps every Monday morning that you're going to get into the system. And if you don't have that focus on a Monday morning, then you'll run out of time in the week to get the deals done. And the last one I just want to get to this slide as some takeouts for the session today. One was, as I said earlier, positive attitude, and that'll drive everything else. A business plan, this is my business plan, it's simply a windmill. So you've got to get that windmill spinning, and once your windmill's spinning, you won't stop it, I can guarantee you. Some days you wake up and you're looking for ways to stop it because you're too busy. So each of those blades should address something like, how do I acquire clients, how do I retain clients, how do I develop my team, what's the customer experience, etc. Google reviews I touched on, CoreLogic property alerts, and the big one for us is every single client in our database, we have our own manual fixed rate interest-only expiries and intro period variable rate expiries, 90 days alerts, and that is the biggest, I believe, the biggest driver to refinance a client or retain a client. So if you don't do that, you're just missing out on so many opportunities, especially as all those fixed rates start to expire. And if you have to invest to get someone to get the loan details on every single client in your customer base, then I'd encourage you to do that, because the payback will be multiple. And I got that done in less than 10 minutes. So sorry if that was quick, but I had plenty of slides there. And like the girl said, reach out. I know myself, I'm in a regional location, pretty much the only broker in town, so pretty isolated. So I'm always happy for people to ring and ask questions or delve into any of that a little bit more as well. So thank you very much.
Do you want to just stay up here with me, Rob?
Yeah.
Just going to improv a little bit here. Do you want to join us on the stage, ladies? Just wanted to put it out to the audience to see if any of you have got any questions for any of our speakers today. Don't all leap at me at once. I can still see you there in the dark. Any questions from anyone?
Just here dancing.
I'll ask a question then. How did you choose the right business coach or mentor for yourselves, whether it was a formal arrangement or just connecting in with other brokers in your community? Can we start with you, Bridget?
Mine comes back to that profiling, probably someone that I knew that I would be able to communicate well with and take on board their advice. I also just sourced out the best people and hoped that they said yes. So Steve Carlton, John McNamara, both incredibly successful businesses, and were doing what I wanted to do. So it was sort of like my stretch goal. So I just went straight to the top.
Yeah, love it. And I love that everybody said yes to you as well, right?
Yeah, no one said no so far. So
yeah, I think that's what I would encourage those of you who raised your hand earlier to say that you're less than 5 years in industry, that this kind of forum is such an incredible opportunity for you to connect in with your stretch goals, not only your peers who are experiencing the same stage of business that you are, but also, connecting in with, the people that you aspire to grow in the same fashion as in this industry, and you'll find that no one ever says no. This is such a truly phenomenal community. I don't know any industry like it where, people who could be your perceived competitors do not treat you as such at all. They treat you as a community. So yeah, I really encourage you to reach out. And if you don't happen across those individuals at this conference, please just reach out to your partnership manager. If that's something that you're interested in doing, we'd very happily connect you in with some businesses in your area, or that you're aspiring to achieve similar goals to. So Nicole, what about yourself? You mentioned how important coaching and mentoring has been to you.
Yeah, I came across a session actually through Facebook where there was an opportunity to go into a 2 or 3 hour program where it was like a blueprint, and it was just a moment of time when I was feeling frustrated. I'm sure Siri heard me, and then it came up on my feed, and the presentation was it just saying to me, and about the distractions, and I'm going to try this, and then I'm like, oh, that doesn't work, so now I'm going to try this, and oh, that didn't work. And it was the way that they presented it, that it just felt like they were speaking to me and that they were my people. And then when I invested into it, and it was a 12-month commitment, but then I'm now in my 3rd year, because the return on investment has been tenfold, and it's just now such a vital part of my community that I've got, where you ask questions, you can be totally vulnerable when you're feeling flat or frustrated, and then the sharing of ideas, and then when you speak to your coach and hash out different challenges that you've got. It's just been quite instrumental. So for me, it just came to me, and it felt right. And I guess I'm very intuitive, and I guess it felt right, so I just went with it, and it's been the best thing I've done.
Awesome. What about yourself, Rob? Being one of the first brokers in Australia, probably. You probably didn't really have anyone to reach out to in the beginning. How have you gone about that?
Yeah, look, I did probably more internally. I tried to do it smart, not hard. But you know, like I mentioned, John Emery in AFG, he's given us some good insights from the marketing. Like, to me, they're the specialists, not me. So don't. Sometimes they're right. Those people that are helping are already in AFG. And one thing I still recall is the conversation my wife and I had with Chris Slater about part of our opening of our new office and that. And the one thing he said, which I still address everything on it today, is, Rob, what problem are you trying to solve? And that's sort of something that's so simple that it almost just takes, it allows you to just take a moment and make sure you're actually not overcomplicating it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so internally there's some people that you don't have to go paying for resources also. Like, they're available with AFG as well.
Yeah, thank you. I love that you've touched on that, actually, because certainly something that I've found since joining the team here at AFG, I was previously on your side of the fence. I was an AFG member for almost 15 years, is that, as you said, you know, we are a rather large business, and so we have a lot of subject matter experts. If you're reaching out to your partnership manager, let them know, you know, if there's particular areas in your business that you're having challenges with, or that you'd like to seek some expert advice on. And it's not always the case that I'm going to know every answer, or that your partnership manager is going to know every answer, but there certainly are a lot of resources that we have available at our fingertips through Learn, through Help, but also through the subject matter experts in our business. And I'm a big believer of, you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah, so
and
true.
you know, I think all of your partnership managers are very happy to knock on the doors of the subject matter experts in AFG, which is, you know, part of you know, how you've had the relationship with John Amory for the marketing sessions and so on. That we really find they're absolutely thrilled to have an opportunity to be facing with our members and you know, sharing as much value as they possibly can. So yeah, just share your pain points and let us know the problem that you're trying to solve, and we'll work together with you to look to solve that. In terms of,
because on that, if you're feeling it, someone else is too, or someone has experienced it. So you're not alone in any of these pain points. It's tough. It's so tough out there, and we're getting pulled and probed in every direction with different elements. And by having the chats, I mean, Hayley and I have plenty of chats, and then, you know, as a result, I speak to different people within AFG and everything, most recently with Shirley, you know, and so it's, yeah, the resource is there, but don't be afraid, because we've all been there, and there is, yeah, there's nothing that you guys can't help with.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to work together. In addition to that, AFG sponsors quite a number of business improvement programs. So you might have your own business coach or mentor that you work with, which is fantastic. But if doing those sorts of programs is something that you're interested in investing your time in, I would certainly say that there's huge value in doing so. You know, we say iron sharpens iron. You know, the best athletes in the world all have coaches. It's not something only for new brokers. It's something that, you know, people continue to have value from throughout their careers. So yeah, if you're interested in those sorts of programs, whether it be you know, for diversification in your business, you know, we can look to put you through the Ascendo course for commercial and asset finance, upskilling. There's Thrive for Women. There's Jason Back's Broker Essentials Revolution, the State of Play sessions for a helicopter view over your business with Ruan Berger. So not every one of those is going to be the right fit for what you're looking to solve in your business at this point. So just reach out to your partnership manager, have that conversation, and we'd love to support you.